Hi, this is Marcia Vaca. I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk to you about an eye disease that impacts well over 50% of people age 60 and over here in the United States, but we actually hear very little about. So I just went through 2 days ago surgery on my left eye. If you look close, my stitches are still there. It's not too black and blue anymore. But I wanted to share from my personal experience some information about this disease, what it is, what the treatments are, what the risk factors are. So I want to talk about more than just glasses and contact lenses, glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eye disease. Let's get into it, and I'll share a little bit with you about what I experienced. It's a disease called MGD, or it stands for Meibomian Gland Dysfunction. And I hope I pronounced that right. It's named after the German scientist and doctor who discovered it and named it. It's all about having the 70 some oil glands around your eye that get clogged, such that the oil then cannot come out. It gets stuck. It actually gets infected. 70% of people over age 60 in the United States are impacted, men a little more so than women. It's considered to be an underlying cause of the dry eye disease that many people experience. And it's related to your oil glands not producing enough oil or good quality oil. And it's different than your tear ducts, but it is part of your tear system in your eye. So it's very much so needed in order to keep your eye protected, healthy, and well. Some of the risk factors for MGD: aging, just growing older. One ophthalmologist put it to me this way. He said, you are getting older, Marsh, and the muscles that control your blinking around your eye are not as efficient and effective as they used to be. So when you don't blink quite as effectively and efficiently, then the oil in those oil glands cannot be expressed. It won't come out and form that layer on your lids that it needs to form. Things even like hypertension, wearing contact lenses, actually not blinking like you should as much because we spend so much time on our laptops, computers, cell phones, watching TV. Certain medications can impact a particular type of mite, which is a little microscopic bug that's on our bodies. I know it sounds gross, but we'll come back to talk about those in a few minutes. Psoriasis, if you're a chronic sty kind of person, you're having trouble with styes, it might actually be MGD. And allergies. Certainly for me this year, allergy season has been absolutely horrible. And I've been on antibiotics just to get rid of a double ear infection. And so, there's probably a number of things that led to me having this happen, because this is actually the second time that it's happened to me in my lifetime. So how do you treat MGD, and how do you try to avoid getting it? Well, number one, you've got to make sure that you're keeping your eyes good and healthy, which means to help your oil glands function and make sure that that oil is expressed, is actually able to come out of your oil glands and surround the tissues on your lids. You can put warm, wet, and clean washcloths over your eyelids for about 5 minutes to loosen up those oil glands. That's according to the Cleveland Clinic. For myself personally, I've done it 10 to 15 minutes at a stretch to make sure that those oil glands and the oil is able to be loosened up and come out and be where it needs to be on my lids and not get stuck in the gland itself. You press gently after you've warmed up your eye, you press gently on your eyes right at the base of your lashes, and you just massage it just a little bit. And that helps that oil to come out of that gland. You clean your eyelids and eyelashes either without soap or a very mild, non-burning soap like a baby shampoo. And then actually the Cleveland Clinic says taking omega-3 supplements can be helpful as well to prevent it. And then being careful in terms of being out in the wind and how much time you spend looking at a screen. Now, like I just said, it's been a horrible allergy season for me. I've been out in the wind walking 2 miles a day, just blown over practically. The winds have been so bad. And I obviously spend a lot of time in front of my computer working like I am now. And so I think it just led to my having this experience. But again, like I say, for the second time in my life. The last time was about 3 years ago. Also, your doctor might give you some lubricants for your eye that can help. You might end up actually having to take some medications, antibacterial medications, and ointments that they would have you put on your eye. Anti-inflammatory medications can be helpful as well. Treating any related conditions like a mite infestation, and I will come back to that in a moment. Or having procedures to unblock the glands and press out the oil. In my case, that required my doctor, my ophthalmologist, having to put lidocaine, which is not pleasant, into my lower lid, and then having to cut out the oil that was stuck in not one but 3 of my oil glands in my lower lid. So it was quite a process. It's not fun, but I am so thankful he's as good as he is at doing it, and my eye is healing. Fingers crossed, no permanent damage to my lid. Now, what are these mites, these little microscopic mites that I'm talking about? They're actually on our bodies. They're usually around hair follicles. We don't see them. We don't get impacted really by them. In fact, they're actually a good thing. They help to eat our dead skin cells. We have millions of dead skin cells every day that come off our bodies. And these little mites actually help to eat those skin cells and helps our skin to stay clean and in good shape. So usually around cheeks or eyelashes, your forehead, at your ear canals, even on the side of your nose, you can have these mites that are always present. Like I say, every adult has them. Babies are not born with them, but eventually in the environment, they do pick them up. They usually don't cause any harm. Like I say, you don't even know you got them, right? Did you know before now that you had these little microscopic mites on your skin? But every now and then, you can have too many of them actually flare up and cause an infestation, and then that causes some other additional issues that you've got to deal with. So what are the risk factors then of having an infestation of these mites? Again, please be aware, it's very rare, but it does happen. Happened to me 3 years ago on this same lower eyelid. But if you have any immune system issues, particularly if you've had an organ transplant or anything at all that you're having to take to suppress your immune system, if you've been receiving chemotherapy, it might trigger that as well. If you have any immune deficiency diseases, it could trigger an infestation of the mites. If you're using a lot of hydrocortisone cream on your face, particularly around your face, you can end up again causing an infestation. So how do you treat it? You can get rid of that infestation. You can get your skin and all the level of those microscopic mites, you can get that down back to a level where they really ought to be, still protecting you because they are needing to eat those dead skin cells, but not have the infestation. So again, remember, very, very rare for there to be an infestation and to really cause symptoms. So you're going to have to go to your doctor. You need to let them take a look and actually get a diagnosis of having an infestation. And then they will provide different kinds of creams, gels, lotions, or a wash for your face, for your eyes that has a pesticide ingredient in it that will kill those mites. So you can see the list of different kinds of medications here that a healthcare provider might prescribe for you, depending upon your particular situation. So why did I even bring up the whole issue of the infestation of these little microscopic mites in your eyes? Well, because if that does happen around your eyes, it can really impact your eyes. It can decrease your vision. It's going to make your eyes irritable and itchy. You can lose your eyelashes, which again, eyelashes are very important to keeping dust and bacteria and other things out of your eyes. And it can lead to a thickening and a scaling of the eyelids. That's what happened to me a few years ago. My eyelids were what my optometrist said were dirty, just dirty, very scaly, weren't so much itchy, but I had seen some scaling and I had seen some buildup of tissue right at the point at which my eyelash came out of my eyelid. So sure enough, he put me on some medication that really helped to clean up my eyelids basically and produce great results. But I still ended up with one spot of an oil gland that did get clogged up. And so I had to have that cut out. That was 3 years ago, but that was just one oil gland. This time around, how in the world did I end up with it again? Well, like I said, bad allergy season, out in the wind. I hadn't been cleaning my eyes every night like I should have after being in all the pollen and the wind and such. And because I sit at my computer screen for so many hours every day, I probably wasn't blinking enough and getting that oil out of the gland. So it got stuck. And I had to go back and have surgery done. Had to have it cut out. So the bottom line, again, not usually a disease category that most people talk about. But the bottom line, in my view, from my personal perspective, is pay attention to your eyes. They're just as important to you as cleaning the rest of your body. Keep your lids, your eyelids clean. Talk to your doctor about what would be an effective product for you to use to help you keep your eyelids clean. You can use something as simple as a baby shampoo if you want to. That's non-stinging, that won't hurt your eyes. But there actually are some other specific products developed for eye care that you might want to talk to your doctor about. Watch what other health conditions you have and the medications that you're on, because everything, our bodies are such incredible organisms and everything is interconnected. So if you're on medications for high blood pressure or chemotherapy or immune suppression in any way, or you have an immune deficiency, talk to your doctor about the potential impact on your vision, on your eyes, and the health of your eyes. Watch your screen time. Stop. Don't spend hours in front of your screen, because it's already been well researched that when we're on our laptop or our cell phone or even watching TV, we don't blink as much and we don't blink as completely or firmly. Well, that's going to impact how your tear system, which includes these oil glands, really is working effectively to keep your eyes healthy. Be aware of your blinking. And I've actually told a couple of friends, just take time, step away from the laptop and your cell phone and consciously spend some time blinking, which I know sounds crazy, but it has helped me a little bit and made me much more aware of how the lack of blinking does impact me and helps my eyes actually feel a little more itchy and dry. But most importantly, talk to your doctor. Talk to your healthcare providers. If you have an optometrist or an ophthalmologist, go talk to them. Your primary care doctor, bug them a little bit about what's maybe going on with your eyes, and is there anything you need to be aware of, and is there anything they would suggest. So be your own best advocate, I guess, is what the message is. If you'd like to join my Facebook group or my school community, the Family Care Compass, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so. I will be putting this video up on my YouTube channel. I'll also be providing within my school group, the Family Care Compass, I will be providing inside that community the specific products that my optometrist has put me on to help keep my lids clean, which, trust me, from here on out, I'm going to make sure every night I'm taking care of my lids. I don't want to have to go through this again. Twice in a lifetime is quite enough. So thank you so much. I hope this was sort of informative, even though who likes to talk about mites, right? Let me know if you got any questions. Thanks so much. Take care.